Good evening. We have just confirmed that at least one BLM activist was among the people who breached the U.S. Capitol on Wednesday, although he says that he was just there sightseeing. Meanwhile, Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats are pushing for both impeachment and/or the invocation of the 25th Amendment. They are basically blaming President Trump for everything that took place over at the Capitol. Now let's begin today by talking about the aftermath of January the 6th, the protest that happened over in Washington, D.C. Now, first of all, there is a ton of speculation right now as to whether the breach of the Capitol was actually instigated by pro-Trump protesters or by subversive elements like Antifa or BLM activists who blended into the crowd. Now, frankly, it's actually unclear who instigated the breach of the Capitol building. We're still looking into it, still reviewing all of the footage. However, there is at least one confirmed BLM activist who was part of the group that entered the U.S. Capitol. That man's name is John Sullivan, and photographs show him inside of the Capitol building on January the 6th. Now, who exactly is John Sullivan? Well, he has in the past taken to social media to advocate for armed revolution. He was arrested about 6 months ago for making threats of violence, and in the past, he organized a protest with other BLM and Antifa activists. According to the Deseret News, he has damaged vehicles and urged people to block roadways out in Utah. And this was the guy that was photographed entering the Capitol last Wednesday. Now, to give you both sides of the story, however, he has actually, since the break-in, given an interview to a TV station where he said that the reason that he was there in Washington, D.C. was not to agitate, but to better understand supporters of President Trump. He told that TV station that, "For me, it's important from the group and the people around me to see that side of things, to see the truth. I don't care, like what side you're on, you should just see it raw." Now, thus far, he has not been charged with any crimes. However, 55 other people have been charged with crimes relating to the breach of the U.S. Capitol. According to the acting U.S. Attorney for Washington, D.C., 40 of those cases have been filed with the D.C. Superior Court, including 8 firearms-related cases, including one man who was arrested with a military semi-automatic rifle and 11 Molotov cocktails that were ready to go. So we here at the Epoch Times, we're going to keep investigating and keep looking into who these people were and who actually instigated the breach of the U.S. Capitol, and see if there are any more Antifa and BLM or other subversive elements that were there and that might have organized what happened. And as we uncover more, I'll let you know right away.
Trump supporters have largely been blamed for the violence against police officers and property, but video footage appears to show a different story. This video taken by NTD's on-the-ground reporters shows Trump supporters trying to stop the people smashing windows of the Capitol building and calling them Antifa. You can hear them saying, "Anyone who does this is not with us." It appears other protesters grab his leg and pull him down to stop him from breaking the window. Other videos show pro-Trump protesters booing those breaking in and calling them Antifa. This video appears to show them trying to stop the people smashing windows and shoving them towards the police. In this video, police appear to open the barricades. Zach Voorhees, a former Google employee turned whistleblower, recorded a video of a Trump supporter who left the rally after things turned violent. He claims he overheard a plot to make Trump supporters look bad.
They were dressed as Trump supporters, but I could tell by their conversation that they were looking to do, and I heard them say, "We got to shake this up so that these people look bad." And I saw them break a window on the Capitol.
Wednesday night, Congressman Mo Brooks urged people to not rush judgment on who assaulted the Capitol building. Brooks said on Twitter that another congressman told him that intelligence suggested Antifa was going to try to infiltrate the rally by dressing like Trump supporters. He told 2KUTV News that he didn't support President Trump, but attended the protest to document it. Sullivan is a Black Lives Matter activist and the founder of Insurgents USA. On January 1st, he urged comrades to show up to the January 6th march. He wrote on Twitter, "We need numbers to show up. No fascist in D.C. March against fascism. Spread the word, comrades. Hashtag F Trump, hashtag Antifa." He was also arrested in July for allegedly rioting and making threats of violence. In video captured by BG on the scene, he can be heard saying to other BLM activists that they need to rip Trump out of office and start a revolution.
We got Rip Trump out of that office right over there. I want y'all to be after me. It's time for a revolution.
Much is still unknown about who exactly smashed the windows of the Capitol and what their intentions were. An investigation is underway.
Here's a photo of the young woman that was tragically killed inside of the Capitol building. Her name is Ashley Babbitt. She was 35 years old, from California, and she was a 10-year veteran of the Air Force. According to her grandfather, she did several tours over in Afghanistan. Now, as to what actually took place surrounding her death, it's still unclear. According to the Capitol Police, she was shot by an officer whose name has yet to be revealed. There is an investigation pending, and the officer who shot Ashley has been placed on administrative leave as well as suspended. Now, other than Ashley, according to the D.C. authorities, one woman and 2 other men died after suffering medical emergencies during the chaos. Although as of now, we don't actually have more details about what those medical emergencies were. We don't know whether it's related to violence or maybe they were old and had some pre-existing conditions. We'll let you know as soon as we find out. Now, in terms of the police force, a U.S. Capitol Police officer actually died last night when he succumbed to the injuries that he received on Wednesday inside of the Capitol. Here's a picture of him. The officer's name was Brian Sicknick, and he was a 12-year veteran of the force. According to a report that was released by the department, he was injured while physically engaging with protesters. He returned to this division office and collapsed. He was taken to a local hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. As a part of their statement, the department said that they expressed their deepest sympathies to Officer Sicknick's family and friends on their loss and mourns the loss of a friend and colleague. His death will now be investigated by the homicide branch of the department. Now, in terms of the political blowback, the chief of the U.S. Capitol Police, the sergeant at arms of the Senate, as well as the sergeant at arms of the House, all resigned after coming under very heavy pressure from Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, and Mitch McConnell. Now, that pressure is actually now extending to President Trump as well. Nancy Pelosi made a statement saying that Congress may move to impeach President Trump if Mike Pence and the rest of Trump's cabinet don't act to remove him using the 25th Amendment. In the statement, she said that if the vice president and the cabinet do not act, the Congress may be prepared to move forward with impeachment. It's a simple matter in terms of the Constitution. The vice president, working with the cabinet, can immediately improve the security of our country. Now, I want to mention 2 things here. First of all, it's not yet clear who actually instigated the breach of the Capitol building. And one question that you might be asking yourself is, why are the Democrats pushing for impeachment when there are only about 12 days left in President Trump's term, technically? Well, one of the reasons, I imagine at least, is that if he is successfully impeached, then that would preclude him from running for office again. Now, President Trump has come out and condemned the violence. In a speech yesterday, he said that, "Like all Americans, I am outraged by the violence, lawlessness, and mayhem. I immediately deployed the National Guard and federal law enforcement to secure the building and expel the intruders. America is, and must always be, a nation of law and order." So there you have it. As to what will actually happen, we'll have to wait and see in the coming weeks how this all plays out.